Imagine growing up with the world's greatest detective as your older brother. You'd probably expect your life to be filled with luxury, strict rules, and endless lessons in proper behavior. But for Enola Holmes, life couldn't have been more different. Long before Sherlock Holmes became London's most famous detective, his youngest sister was living a life unlike any other young woman in Victorian England. While girls her age were taught how to sew, dance, and prepare for marriage, Enola was learning science, martial arts, chess, chemistry, cryptography, and how to think for herself. Her teacher wasn't a professor. It was her mother. The story begins in the quiet English countryside, where 16-year-old Enola Holmes lives alone with her mother, Eudora Holmes. Their home is filled with books, strange inventions, secret puzzles, and laughter. There are no strict rules, no fancy dresses, and no expectations that Enola must become a proper Victorian lady. Instead, Eudora believes her daughter should become independent, strong, curious, someone capable of solving her own problems. Every lesson is disguised as a game. One day they're practicing fencing. The next day they're studying chemistry. Sometimes they're solving impossible riddles hidden throughout the house. Without realizing it, Enola is slowly developing the same brilliant observation skills that made her older brother, Sherlock Holmes, famous. Despite this happy life, one mystery has always surrounded the Holmes family. Enola has barely seen her older brothers. Sherlock Holmes has become London's greatest detective, spending nearly all his time solving impossible crimes. His older brother, Mycroft Holmes, has become a respected government official with very traditional views about how women should behave. Neither brother truly understands Enola because they were absent for most of her childhood. Everything changes on Enola's 16th birthday. She wakes up expecting another joyful celebration with her mother. Instead, the house is completely silent. Her mother's bedroom is empty. The breakfast table is untouched. There isn't a single sign of struggle. Only a few carefully placed gifts remain behind, along with a collection of mysterious coded messages that seem to have been left specifically for Enola. Confused and frightened, Enola immediately contacts her brothers. Within days, Sherlock and Mycroft arrive at the family estate. It's the first time Enola has seen them in years. Sherlock quickly notices that something unusual has happened. There are no signs of violence. No evidence of kidnapping. No indication that Eudora left in panic. Everything appears to have been planned carefully. While Sherlock quietly studies the clues, Mycroft reacts very differently. Rather than worrying about their missing mother, he criticizes Enola's appearance, manners, and education. He believes she's wild, undisciplined, and completely unsuitable for society. To Mycroft, the solution is simple. Enola must be sent away immediately to a strict finishing school where she'll learn how to become a proper young lady. Enola is horrified. The independent life her mother gave her is about to disappear forever. Sherlock says very little during these conversations. Unlike Mycroft, he doesn't judge Enola. In fact, he quietly notices something remarkable. She observes details other people miss. She notices tiny clues. She asks the right questions. Although he never says it directly, Sherlock realizes his younger sister may possess detective abilities equal to his own. Meanwhile, Enola studies the strange gifts her mother left behind. Hidden inside them are coded messages that only someone taught by Eudora could understand. Piece by piece, Enola begins solving the puzzle. The clues point toward London. More importantly, they suggest that Eudora didn't disappear against her will. She chose to leave, but why would a loving mother suddenly abandon her daughter without explanation? Enola refuses to believe her mother simply walked away. Certain that there's a larger mystery hiding beneath the surface, she makes a daring decision. Instead of allowing Mycroft to send her to boarding school, she runs away. Disguising herself as a young boy to avoid attracting attention, Enola secretly boards a train bound for London. She carries only a small amount of money, a collection of coded clues, and the detective skills her mother spent years teaching her. She believes she's chasing one mystery. She has no idea that before reaching London, she's about to stumble into another one that could change the future of England itself. On the train to London, Enola believes she's finally taking control of her own destiny. But fate has other plans. While exploring the train, she notices a young boy hiding inside one of the luggage compartments. He's nervous, exhausted, and clearly trying to avoid being seen. His name is Viscount Tewkesbury. At first glance, he appears to be nothing more than another wealthy teenager running away from home. But Enola's detective instincts immediately tell her something is wrong. His expensive clothes are dirty. His hands are shaking. And every time someone walks past, he looks genuinely terrified. When Enola questions him, Tewksbury admits that he's escaped from his family's estate because he believes someone is trying to kill him. Before Enola can decide whether to believe his story, danger suddenly arrives. A mysterious man wearing a bowler hat boards the train. Unlike the ordinary passengers, this stranger isn't looking for a seat. He's searching for someone. Using the observation skills her mother taught her, Enola quickly realizes the man is hunting Tewksbury. Within minutes, the train becomes a deadly game of cat and mouse. The assassin corners the young Viscount near the roof of the moving train. A violent struggle breaks out. Without hesitation, Enola jumps into the fight. Although she's smaller than her opponent, years of martial arts training give her an unexpected advantage. She manages to distract the attacker long enough for both teenagers to escape. Realizing the assassin will continue following them if they stay together, Enola makes a difficult decision. She gives Tewksbury advice on how to survive and tells him to disappear. Her own mission is still finding her mother. Once she reaches London, Enola throws herself into solving Eudoria's disappearance. The city is enormous. Crowded streets stretch endlessly in every direction. Somewhere within millions of people, her mother has left a trail only Enola can follow. To avoid being recognized by Mycroft's agents, Enola constantly changes her appearance. One day she's dressed as a flower seller. The next day she's pretending to be a wealthy young woman. Sometimes she's a newspaper boy. Other times she blends into crowds wearing ordinary working-class clothes. Each disguise brings her one step closer to the truth. Meanwhile, Sherlock Holmes quietly begins investigating Enola's disappearance. Unlike Mycroft, who simply wants to drag her back home, Sherlock becomes increasingly impressed by the clues Enola leaves behind. Every move she makes demonstrates intelligence. Every decision reveals careful planning. Although he rarely expresses emotion, Sherlock starts realizing that his younger sister may actually be every bit as gifted as he is. Back in London, Enola discovers another coded message left by her mother. The clues don't point toward a person. They point toward an idea. Eudoria has secretly become involved with a group of women fighting for political change. At a time when women had very few rights, these activists were risking everything to demand equality and the right to vote. Suddenly, Enola understands why her mother disappeared. She wasn't abandoning her daughter. She was protecting her. If people discovered Eudoria's secret activities, Enola could have become a target as well. Just as Enola begins piecing everything together, unexpected news reaches her. Tewksbury is still alive, but the mysterious assassin is hunting him once again. For a moment, Enola considers ignoring it. Finding her mother has always been her priority. Yet she remembers the frightened boy hiding on the train. She knows that if she does nothing, he may not survive another encounter. Following her conscience, Enola changes course. She begins investigating the mystery surrounding Tewksbury instead. What starts as a simple rescue quickly grows into something far more dangerous. The deeper Enola digs into the case, the more she realizes Tewksbury isn't being hunted because he ran away from home. He's being hunted because someone wants to prevent him from inheriting his family's powerful political position. If Tewksbury dies, the balance of power inside the British government could change forever. Now Enola isn't just solving two mysteries. She's caught in the middle of a conspiracy involving wealth, politics, family betrayal, and murder. And somewhere in the shadows, the man in the bowler hat is still watching, waiting for the perfect moment to strike again. As Enola continues following the trail, she finally reunites with Tewksbury. He's been hiding in abandoned buildings, sleeping wherever he can, constantly looking over his shoulder. Although he's technically a wealthy lord, he's never had to survive on his own before. Enola quickly realizes that beneath his title is simply a frightened teenager who has no idea who he can trust. The two reluctantly decide to work together. At first, their personalities couldn't be more different. Enola is confident, clever, and independent. Tewksbury is kind-hearted but inexperienced, often relying on others to solve his problems. As they spend more time together, however, they begin learning from one another. Enola teaches him how to think before acting, while Tewksbury reminds Enola that not every problem has to be faced alone. Meanwhile, the mysterious assassin continues closing in. Using disguises, hidden weapons, and careful planning, he tracks the teenagers across London. Every narrow alley and crowded marketplace becomes another potential trap. One afternoon, the hunter finally catches them. A brutal fight breaks out inside an old building. The assassin proves far more dangerous than Enola expected. He's stronger, older, more experienced. For the first time, Enola finds herself struggling to survive. Remembering the self-defense lessons her mother taught her, she refuses to panic. Instead of matching the man's strength, she uses speed, balance, and quick thinking. After an intense struggle, Enola manages to knock the assassin unconscious. Rather than staying to celebrate, she and Tewkesbury escape before he can recover. Now they know one thing for certain. Someone with money and influence has hired a professional killer. This is no ordinary family dispute. While hiding from danger, Enola begins investigating Tewkesbury's family. The deeper she looks, the stranger everything becomes. His father is dead. His family's enormous fortune makes him one of England's most important young nobles. And because of his position, whoever controls Tewkesbury could influence important votes in Parliament. Suddenly, the mystery isn't just about one missing boy. It's about politics, power, and the future of the country. At the same time, Sherlock Holmes continues following Enola's trail through London. Every clue she leaves behind makes him smile. He realizes that Enola isn't simply running away from home. She's solving cases, just like he does. For perhaps the first time in his life, Sherlock begins seeing his younger sister not as someone who needs protection, but as an equal. Meanwhile, Mycroft remains furious. Determined to force Enola into a finishing school, he hires people to search every corner of London. To him, Enola's independence is embarrassing. To Sherlock, it's extraordinary. Eventually, Enola discovers another hidden message left by her mother. The coded note carries a simple but powerful lesson. Sometimes, finding your own path means letting go of the people you love, at least for a while. Although Enola desperately wants to reunite with her mother, she finally understands why Euphoria disappeared. She wasn't running away from her daughter. She was fighting for a future where girls like Enola could choose their own lives instead of having them chosen by society. Inspired by her mother's courage, Enola decides she can't ignore Tewkesbury's danger any longer. The clues all point toward one place: his family estate. If someone truly wants him dead, the final confrontation is waiting there. Knowing it's a trap, Enola travels to the grand estate anyway. She knows the killer will be waiting. What she doesn't know is that the person behind the conspiracy is someone Tewkesbury would never expect. The greatest mystery of all has been hiding inside his own family. As Enola and Tewkesbury arrive at his enormous country estate, the atmosphere feels strangely quiet. The grand mansion, once filled with servants and family, now seems cold and lifeless. Every hallway echoes with silence, making it impossible to know who might be watching from the shadows. Enola immediately senses that something isn't right. Someone expected Tewkesbury to return. Someone has been waiting. Ignoring Tewkesbury's request to stay together, Enola quietly begins examining the house. Every room tells a story. She notices disturbed furniture, footprints in the dust, and tiny clues that everyone else overlooks. Piece by piece, the mystery finally comes together. The attacks on Tewkesbury were never random. They were carefully planned, but the person behind them isn't a political enemy. It's someone much closer to home. As Enola continues searching, she hears a loud noise from downstairs. She rushes toward it. There stands Tewkesbury, face to face with his own grandmother. At first, the elderly woman appears calm and relieved to see her grandson alive. But Enola notices something unusual. The woman's hands don't shake with emotion. They remain perfectly steady. Her eyes show no happiness, only determination. Before anyone can react, the grandmother calmly pulls out a hidden pistol and points it directly at Tewkesbury. The truth is finally revealed. She ordered the assassination herself. For years, she believed the family's political influence had to be protected at any cost. Tewkesbury wanted to support social reform and vote for changes that would give ordinary people more rights. His grandmother considered those ideas a betrayal of everything their family stood for. To her, preserving tradition was more important than protecting her own grandson. She believed that if Tewkesbury disappeared, someone else would inherit the title and continue defending the old ways. Without hesitation, she pulls the trigger. The bullet strikes Tewkesbury in the chest. Enola screams. For a terrifying moment, it appears that the assassin has finally succeeded. But then, Tewkesbury slowly stands back up. Earlier in the story, Enola had encouraged him to wear a metal breastplate beneath his clothes for protection, never imagining it would actually save his life. The bullet had struck the armor instead of his heart. Realizing her plan has failed, Tewkesbury's grandmother is finally arrested. The shocking truth leaves the entire family devastated. The greatest threat had never been hiding outside the mansion. It had been living inside it all along. With the mystery solved, Tewkesbury finally takes his rightful place as the head of his family. Instead of following the outdated beliefs that nearly cost him his life, he promises to become a leader who embraces fairness and change. Enola, meanwhile, returns to London. Although she never found the reunion with her mother that she had imagined, she now understands why Euphoria left. One day, Enola receives another secret message. Following the clues, she arrives at a hidden location where her mother is waiting. The reunion is brief but deeply emotional. Euphoria explains that her work fighting for women's rights is far from over. She cannot stay, because too many people still depend on her. She tells Enola something she will never forget. You don't have to become the person society expects you to be. You only have to become the person you choose to be. Those words finally give Enola the confidence she's been searching for. Around the same time, Sherlock visits Enola one last time. Unlike Mycroft, he no longer sees his sister as an irresponsible child. He admits that she solved a case even Scotland Yard couldn't have solved. Without saying the words directly, Sherlock gives Enola something she's wanted all her life: his respect. As for Mycroft, even he begins realizing that forcing Enola into society's narrow expectations will never change who she truly is. The film ends with Enola opening the door to her own future. Instead of returning home or entering a finishing school, she chooses to become something entirely new. A detective, not in Sherlock Holmes' shadow. Not as someone trying to copy her famous brother, but as Enola Holmes, a young woman determined to solve mysteries, challenge injustice, and prove that intelligence has nothing to do with gender. As she walks confidently into the busy streets of London, she turns toward the audience with a smile. Her first adventure may be over, but her story is only just beginning.